Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I am live from Miami. I just got off the Celebrity Edge today. It was an interesting process. It was an interesting process for me, and of course, if you haven't seen the video yet, it was also an interesting process for my friend Don. So we're here to talk about getting ready for my MSC cruise. We'll definitely talk about Don. But, here's the thing that's frustrating. My friend Don is down the road in Fort Lauderdale. If we knew there was going to be all this hubbub, maybe I could have talked him into coming to Miami, getting on this cruise. I don't know. But look, I don't have Don in person, but I do have Don in virtual. Don is on the screen, everybody. What is up, Don? Don, are you there?
Hey, everybody.
Are you in Ottawa?
No.
No.
No. Back in the Hilton Marina in lovely Fort Lauderdale.
Hilton Marina wow. So I put it on the thumbnail. You're trapped in Florida. First, let me say hello to everybody. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another live chat. If you are brand new here, type new by your name, and when I'm reading the comments, hopefully I'll be able to say hello to you. If you have a question for Don or I, type question in capital letters. Hopefully we'll get to as many as we can. No promises we'll get to any of them, because we're just going to wrap a little bit about this disembarkation process from Celebrity Edge. And we got to talk about today's embarkation process because, Don, where you are sitting, you can see the port, and Celebrity Edge is still in the port.
That's right. The Odyssey of the Seas just set sail, but the Celebrity Edge is still sitting there. And when we left just after 5 when we pulled out last. So it's 7 o'clock now.
Yeah. So we were definitely out. So really, what's happened on the Celebrity Edge? If you haven't been tracking along with it, it was probably I'm going to have the timeline wrong because I'm not going to be able to back it up. But let's say 3 days ago. Maybe 4 days ago, we got the announcement that somebody had tested positive for COVID. They had presented themselves to the medical facilities with cold symptoms. And then at the medical facility, this was a fully vaccinated person. It was determined that they had the COVID. They did the contact tracing. And then this was when we were in Cozumel. We were late leaving Cozumel. They were able to get the person off of the cruise ship and send them home by private charter so that they could ride out. It wasn't severe enough to go to hospital, but they did send them home. Then the very next morning, as we were getting ready to go to Captain Kate's question and answer, there was another announcement that a second person had tested positive and that they would be removed from the ship. Now, they've been doing contact tracing. I talked to a couple that were actually in quarantine for 3 days. They were determined to be close contact. They didn't say anybody ever indicated to them how they were doing contact tracing, but they did say that somebody said to them at one point that they'd seen them on camera with patient 1 or patient 0 and patient 1 for an extended period of time. So we've been guessing how they're doing contact tracing. Maybe they are going back and looking through camera footage to see who's been in contact with these people for long periods of time. But they were in lockdown in their cabin for 3 days. They were tested every day, and then eventually they were allowed to come out. That's when I talked to them on the cruise ship. And so we know that they're doing contact tracing. And then I guess it had to be yesterday. Yeah, yesterday before the cruise ended, I was doing some filming, and we got another announcement that 5 more people had been tested positive, 3 that were in the contact group and 2 that were fully vaccinated that had presented with symptoms. And so this kind of threw Don's whole deal off. So the original plan, so if you don't know, if you're flying in and out of the United States, there is a CDC requirement for airlines that for somebody to board an airline in the U.S. and go to a foreign country, or someone to board an airline in a foreign country to come to the U.S., they have to present a negative COVID test at the airport. So it's not really Canada. I don't think it's Canada that's keeping Don out. It's this CDC requirement to even get on a plane in the U.S. so that he can fly out. And so the cruise line, they're going to give you that test. And you were scheduled at 5:40 yesterday afternoon, but because of all of the hubbub going on, they moved your test to this morning. And so when we said our fond farewells in the casino last night, I thought I would nary see Don again. But then as I was going to my disembarkation point about 8:30 this morning, I saw Don, partying at the club. That's the name of a location on the cruise ship. He was at the club. There was a group of people. He was talking to all the people. And I said, Don, are you getting ready to get off the cruise ship? And he's like, no, I haven't had my COVID test. So that sets the stage. Make sure you watch Don's video. But Don, what happened after I saw you at 8:30 this morning?
So the team that was getting on to do the COVID testing was late getting on the ship. They were supposed to be all set up and ready to go by 8 o'clock. And at 8:30, they still hadn't even gotten to the floor yet. So that pushed everybody back and back and back. Eventually, they started testing kids first.
Mm.
So people who had to get their kids tested to do whatever. To get off the ship, I think that's because they're unvaccinated. They have to get a COVID test when they enter the country because they were in a foreign country, right?
Right.
Instead of doing the international travelers who have to catch flights, they did kids who might be driving into Fort Lauderdale and driving to Miami or wherever they're going. So that put the international flights back even further. I finally got tested around 9:30. 10:30 rolls around, I still haven't received my email. I'm down in guest relations at that point, just because they said that's where they'll let me know. Because I met a gentleman in there and he knew who I was, and he said, I'll call down there as soon as we get your result. I said, great. So I went and waited. 10:30, 11, 11:30, 12 o'clock. Finally, somebody comes up and says, Mr. Terrace, you can go now because everybody who's been tested has been cleared. They're just delayed getting you your email. I said, but I need an email to get on the flight. Oh, it'll be coming very, very soon, sir, but we need you to leave the ship so we can start getting passengers on board. So I ended up leaving, got out, got to the airport 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, still no email. My flight left at 12:30. I ended up calling, first I tried calling emergency center for travel, like the emergency travel, and they said, well, you have to get in touch with the airline first. Called Air Canada, and they said, oh, we have experiencing a little longer than normal volume today. The average wait time is between 2.5 and 5 hours. So I hung up. Wasn't going to do that. So I called finally the engagement center of Celebrity, got in touch with somebody there, got in touch with a very, very nice, and everyone's been super nice. So I'm not saying anyone was rude or anything like that. They were all very, very nice. And I did get a very, very nice lady at the engagement center. And she's been in contact with me like 5 times now. And she has been trying to get through things. I told her I'm in a hotel. I told her what hotel I went to. And she says she's moved it on to what's called the care center. And normally when they get involved, they handle everything. So they handle the booking, any refunds, they handle the COVID test, they handle the new flights, all that. She said, please just wait for them to contact you. As soon as they find out what's going on with the test, somebody will reach out to you. But basically, they lost my test. As of now, they still cannot find the test that I took.
Wow.
Which is the big, I have my question to them saying, the CDC requires me to have a test to get off the ship. You sent me off the ship without proof that I've had it, and now when I'm asking you for proof, you can't provide it. So that's not a good thing.
Wow.
And, and it is all because of the new change in the rules over this cruise, right? Even people who were on the cruise, staying on the ship, who had their test on Friday night, Saturday, they had to come back and get another test, even though just the night before they had it. So there were all those almost 200 passengers that had to get retested as well. So it's not a good situation. The Edge is still not budged, and I don't even see the engine started. That's how bad it is right now. So
wow, that's crazy. So Don's stuck in Florida, waiting to hear from Celebrity what the next steps are. I had a little snafu too. Mine wasn't as big a deal. I'll tell you about that. First, let me say thanks for some super chats. Tropical Tom Garcia, thank you so kindly for the super chat. My social media, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for all of the updates. And George Bergen, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for the content. Keep the people informed. Yeah, we've been doing our best. Man, and also a super sticker from Michaela Perez. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, so for me, the only challenge I had is I was trying to figure out, so you guys know I took a train from Tampa to Fort Lauderdale, and my big challenge was, okay, I needed to get to this hotel in downtown Miami, and how was I going to do that? I know there was a train from Fort Lauderdale that goes to Miami, but then I think Don reminded me that there are these transfers that you could do from the cruise ship to the airport. And so I went down there a couple days ago and I said, hey, I'd like to get a transport or a transfer to the airport in Miami. And the guy's like, what time's your flight? And I'm like, oh, I don't really have a flight. I'd just like to get to the airport. That way I can just take an Uber to downtown hotel. And the guy said, no problem. It was about $30. And he said, be there at 9 o'clock. Be at your disembarkation point at 9 o'clock. So I was reading the disembarkation paper, and they had 2 times for people that were transferring to the airport in Miami. They had a time for people that had early flights, and they had time for people that had later flights. And so I was in the time for the people that had later flights. I think this is where the challenge arose. So you have a little number. About 8:45, they called my number to get off the cruise ship. The disembarkation process, super easy for me. Just walked right off the cruise ship. I showed my ship card to get off. And then even at immigration has a facial scan now, and they scanned me. I didn't even have to talk to a customs agent. They just scanned me. I walked right out, and then I had to walk way down the terminal outside to where there were 2 buses. There was a bus for Fort Lauderdale Airport, a bus for Miami Airport, and when I got there, a second bus had just pulled up, and I said, hey, I'm here for the bus to the Miami Airport, and like the lady, her face like changed, it contorted, it changed. And she's like, oh, this could be Don's people. I'm going to take Don off the screen while he talks to his people.
Yeah.
And I'll mute Don. So, they were like, well, the Miami bus already left. And I was like, the Miami bus already left? Like, this is the time they told me to come. And they're like, yeah. And, oh, yeah, we don't have you on the list. That's what they told us. That's what they told me after the bus. And so they're like, if you want to go sit on that bench, we might be able to get you to Miami, or that they would take care of me, but they needed to take care of all the people going to Fort Lauderdale. So I went to sit on the bench, and I was already hot and sweaty. It was getting hot already. And so I just pulled up on Uber, and just to get to the hotel here, it was $34. And I was like, well, that's only $4 more than going to the airport, and I'm sure it would have cost more. So I took an Uber to the hotel here, and I talked to him. I said, hey, I'm going to take an Uber. I'm going to try to get my money back from Celebrity. Hold on a second. So I got in an Uber about 9:05, and I got to the hotel here at 9:45, and I just figured I'd have to sit in the lobby or something, but they had a room ready for me, so I came right up to the room, and this has been a great room so far. There's I can't really show you, but there's 4 pillows on the bed. Anybody that's concerned about the pillows. And so my only big, obviously not any kind of challenge like Don had, but yeah, it was a little bit of a challenge for me. But my biggest challenge now is getting my $30 back from Celebrity for the bus. So Don is away from his camera, and I've got him mute. Oh, he might be coming back. I see him moving around, so I'll wait till he comes back. A big shout out to everybody here from the Blue Crew. Of course, the beautiful Jenny B is here. We've got Slinky and Matt in the house. Just want to make sure I don't miss out on any of these super chats. We already thanked George. I'm sliding down to the bottom of the chat if you guys want to throw a question in. Pam Brazina, thank you so much for the super chat. Donna S, thank you for the super chat. Did Alicia have any trouble? So sorry, Don. No, so she lives in Key West, and she had a ride come get her at the cruise terminal. When I was in my Uber, I saw her making her way out of the terminal, so I think she's fine. And then Don did tell me that she made it home. Marquis, thank you so much for the super chat. Could be worse, could be stuck in California. Yeah, at least he's kind of can still see the cruise ships, and I know they're working on resolving his problems. And there was Michaela. I think we caught all of those super chats. Commander Redhawk, thank you so much. Tony got to sit up on the Group W bench. That's right. But there I was on the Group W bench. Yeah, it was, the walk was just far enough with my bags and my backpack that I was full on, big guy sweating when I got to the bus. And when she said, just go sit over there in the sun, I was like, yeah, let me see if there's a better, I'm a problem solver. I'm like, I'm not sitting there. Let's see, Kurt Berry. Hello, Tony. Win it Cruise bingo for me. Yeah, they have bingo on MSC. I might have to try that out. Sadly, my natural light is going away. The sun is setting. I might have to try to figure out how to turn a light on in this room. But you guys can still see me, right? You can see me, right? Let's see. All right, I just want to make sure. Oh, wow, Eric. Wow, thank you so kindly for the super chat. Appreciate it. Love your content. Helped cover the Uber. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Kurt Berry, thank you. Oh, you did the bingo. And Julian J, this is the $4 for the difference. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, the money's not that. I mean, I think I'll get my money back. I was just worried about the hassle of, I just wanted. And then I don't even know why I I just didn't want to sit out in the sun, honestly. I don't think anybody would want to sit out in the sun. Like on the Uber ride over, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to have a room ready. But got the room. It was ready. The only challenge that I have now is they do have 2 restaurants here in the hotel. But here, hold on. Let's bring Don back. Let's bring Don back on the screen for possibly an update. Don, was that the people?
That was one of the people. This is the very nice lady. Her name is Anthea, and she's been worried sick about me and has been in touch with me over and over again. So here's the situation. They have been talking to the managers and everything and told me to basically keep all my receipts for any of my expenses that I'm incurring. And if I was okay with it, to go ahead and book my own COVID test, book my own flights, and get myself back home. And they're going to reimburse me for everything going forward. So overall, I guess that's about as best of a solution as I can ask for. So.
There you go. Well, that's good. So we talked about that a little earlier, that you may have to do that. I pulled myself off the screen. Now I'm super bright. I'm super bright. Hold on. Let's see if we can darken me up a little bit.
Super bright.
Super bright. Yeah. So are you going to get that? I know you said there's a test at the airport. Are you going to get the test at the airport? Or are you going to go to that? I wonder if that Walgreens near you does it.
I checked at the Walgreens. They no longer do testing. A lot of the places no longer do testing. They only do the vaccines around in the pharmacies. So they have one at the airport. It's at Terminal 3 in Fort Lauderdale, apparently. And as long as I have a ticket, I can go there and get a test for my flight. So the big question is will I be able to find a flight for tomorrow, or will I have to wait a couple of days because it's very short notice? So
right.
I will try tonight and see if I can book another flight and see what happens.
The saga continues.
It's a non-saga, but at least you know what? Like I said, they were very, very friendly. The mistake, I think, 2 mistakes. First of all, doing the kids first instead of international travelers, because I saw lots of people at the airport who missed their flights. Lots of people. And when I contacted emergency travel, they said they can't even hang up and call somebody back because they have so many people trying to call them and get in to them. And I have a feeling it's not only they don't only answer for Celebrity, they answer for Royal Caribbean and Azamara as well. So it's probably a combined thing going on, right?
Well, we've been saying it that the restart of cruising, you got to be flexible, that there's definitely going to be challenges. That's so true today because, like you said, it was just 17 hours before the cruise when everybody that's cruising on the Edge today got notified that they would have to be tested before they were allowed to cruise. And like you said, they did not have that process in place. And as you also said, the Celebrity Edge is still sitting there. So where our embarkation, my embarkation was super smooth. Like it was not a big deal at all. I was on the cruise ship super fast. There are people out there that I saw comment on my video today saying, hey, I've been standing out in the sun for 3 hours now when I'm supposed to be in the deal. So, that's But on brighter notes, you said the Odyssey did leave, and we've seen a lot of
Yep.
people that are on the Carnival Mardi Gras. I didn't even contemplate it at the time because I knew we were going to cruise on the Mardi Gras on the 21st. But I easily could have just taken Uber north and went to Port Canaveral and probably got on the Mardi Gras. But I really I do have an affinity for MSC. I really want to see what this first MSC cruise is like, and I think the Mardi Gras is well covered. So everybody that is out there cruising the Mardi Gras, not that they would be watching this, but we hope that you have a great sailing. The ship looks really nice. It's Carnival's next iteration, and so the Mardi Gras is doing its thing, and it should be ready for us in just a few weeks, Don. If you can get now, do you think this will mess with your ability to get out of Canada again?
Shouldn't, unless it takes me over a week to get back home,
Ooh.
because you have to be back home for 14 days before you're allowed to fly again out of the country.
Wow.
So,
Kitty Ray, thank you for the super chat. Anytime they send you to the bench in the sun, you're. Yeah, I mean, I went over. So the lady, how do I describe this? So the buses were across the street. So you had to walk the length of the terminal, and you had to cross the street through a crosswalk. And then that's where the lady was. And so after we had the interaction where she told me that that I would go sit on the bench, and then eventually they would get to me after they dealt with all these other people, she came and sat on another bench, and none too concerned for me. So I walked over to her and I said, "Hey, I'm thinking I might just use rideshare, or do you think that this is going to be resolved quickly?" And she said, "No, I don't think it's going to be resolved quickly." So she goes, "I hate to see you do that extra expense, but we're not going to be able to help you for a while." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to sit out here in the sun. So I would rather, sit in the hotel and get on the phone with Celebrity to get my $30 back than to sit out in the sun." So it was hot there, Don. I mean, you know how it is. I mean, hopefully you didn't have to stay out too much, but it was warm there today. Yeah. Dylan Seaman, thank you so much for the super chat. Don, they say, Don, hop on MSC. We can have another week or a few days together. But Don's got some obligations there in Canada, and he also has to be back in the country for a certain amount of time before he can leave the country again. So, Joe Dura, thank you for the super chat. I wish the best to Don in his travels. Hope things work out. I have Celebrity October the 2nd. Enjoyed the sweet vlog, the lives, the food pictures, and all the in-betweens. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, we did our best to, to cruise and enjoy it and to share as much as we could. Don, the sweet life is the sweet life. It's so nice. That's a great question. Are you going to, how hard is it, like you were, I don't think you were really playing when you were in my cabin yesterday saying you felt claustrophobic. How hard is it going to be for you to cruise in what I thought was a very fine balcony or infinite? Yeah. I mean, my room was a little not as wide, I think, as a balcony, but do you think you're going to have any trouble when you have to cruise that way again?
I won't have trouble, but it'll reflect in my memory saying, "Oh yeah, that last cruise," right?
Yeah.
And I will not do it again unless the price is right.
Right.
The only reason I did it this time, besides spoiling myself for my first cruise back after the pandemic kind of thing, was it was a really good price. It's half of what it's going to be in 2022 is what I spent. So
wow, you got two for the price of one.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Question from Oliver: should I be concerned about Royal Caribbean on Ovation April 2022 from Hawaii? I mean, again, I think it depends. If we get some other weird variant, it's going to be a rocky start. Like, I'm hoping that in 6 months things will be calm, but the way the last 16 months have gone, I would hate to be too predictive of that. I would think normally we feel like in 6 months everything's going to be normal, but things were going normal until middle of last week. I mean, just to show you how volatile it is. I mean, last week we were having conversations like cruising's back and it's super normal and, everything's going peachy keen, and then blammo. This is... this is only the second cruise where they didn't have to wear face masks on the edge for crew members. And so, what's that going to be like next week? That, new protocols came into place 16 hours before the deal. So it's hard to say what it's going to be like, but I hope in 6 months or, next year that it will be okay. Let's see. Sharon says, Don, you could always go stay with Tony and Jenny for 3 weeks. I have talked to Jenny. That is an open invitation, always an open invitation. But like we said, Don's got to get back home for a little bit of something. David Cresford, thank you so much for the super chat. Don, there are AC flights tomorrow. Good luck getting home. Oh, I guess it's Air Canada. So that's good. Let's see. Let me answer this question that I saw a lot in the comments, and I see here in the chat. Everybody did not have to get a test to get off the cruise. It was only people that had international travel, and then probably people that were unvaccinated. I just know that if you were vaccinated, you didn't have to leave the country or fly somewhere else. You did not have to get a test. And then the other question is, we did not have to get a test to get on board. And then primarily the people that tested positive on the cruise ship were vaccinated people that presented themselves to the medical center with symptoms. There were a few people they mentioned in a contact group, but so just to clear up some misconceptions in a lot of the comments on both of our videos, they weren't randomly testing people and found COVID. These were, the initial tests were people who presented themselves with symptoms, and then they did, nobody got tested before this cruise, and the only reason Don had to take a test was to get out of the country. So hopefully that helps some of the little bit of the confusion. Mark Levine, thank you for the super sticker. Dylan Seaman, Don and Tony, Captain Kate rocks just because. Yeah, I mean, one of the best experiences for this cruise for me was just getting to see Captain Kate in action, and the way that, like no other time, she had her own show. Like, she had an hour question and answer. She had that jewelry presentation. She is very active on what's going on the Edge in a way that other captains aren't. And she's very aware of that, and she's very good in that role. And I think you said the same thing in your video, Don, that it's impressive. Like, she's really and the thing that she said in her talk is that at first she was really shy about being the face of being the first female captain in North America of a major cruise liner, but then she realized that she could be affecting somebody out there that had a dream, that maybe that they didn't think they could do the same thing, and that she was an example, and that now she really embraces it. So it was pretty cool. I mean, to me, the Captain Kate experience was one of the big takeaways for me on this cruise.
Yeah, it makes me want to sail the ship again, because she was that personable.
Yeah. Let's see. Lucretia Boutard, thank you so much for the super chat. Hope all cruises learn from this issue as more people will test positive at debarkation, costing time and money. Tony, will you have to get tested to get on in MSC? Yeah, that's not a new protocol. So the way that MSC has always set it up, this is the way they did it in Europe, right? So we've lauded MSC as people that have really led the way for the cruise restart. They were cruising middle of last year in Europe with the, I don't know that they coined the term, the safe cruise bubble, but that's who I thought of when I thought of the safe cruise bubble. They cruised before there was a vaccine, and they did it by testing everybody who gets on board, by having a masking protocol, by doing social distancing. They have a contact tracing system, and those are the protocols that are coming to the U.S. And so, everybody getting on the ship, whether you're vaccinated or not vaccinated, will take a COVID test on Monday. And that's the thing. All of these cruise lines, if you hit a positive COVID test, they're going to retest you. This is what I understand from all the protocols. So I know a lot of people are worried about false positives, but what I learned from my experience with Royal and people that did test positive trying to get on Adventure last month, Royal did retest them, and I believe that MSC follows the same protocol. So I was kind of curious to see what Don's test result was, because I want Don to be negative, because if Don comes back positive, then, I've had some close contact with Don, so now I've got to go take a test on Monday. So it's a little dramatic. We're feeling the drama. The drama, as Don would say in Canada.
And literally, the Edge just started her engines.
Oh, there you go. So the Edge is maybe making its way
They're not pulling out yet, but they've started the engines. You can see the smokestacks going now.
Awesome. Derek Gavin, thank you so much for the super sticker. All right, I'm down in the chat. I'm looking for questions. Vinny G25, question. Tony, will you be live streaming on the MSC Meriviglia? Hope to see it, since, look, it's the same scenario going into all these ships. If the internet allows it, I will do my best to live stream. To me, that's the best way to really, in real time, tell you guys how the ship is. So I like doing the live streams. Finally, at the end of the week there on Edge, I was able to get a few live streams in. So I hope to do that. It's always the plan. But what I realized is it's never a good plan for like in the evening time, because dinner, entertainment, going to the casino, that's really where my favorite part of cruising. And so if you see any lives, it'll probably be early afternoon, that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do it. We almost did a midnight live stream just to see if anybody would show up. That would have been kind of cool, but we didn't get to test that out. Rebecca Mendez, thank you for the super chat. Love you both and the beautiful Jenny B. Good luck getting home, Don. Yeah, I'm ready for us to be reunited. I miss you already, Don. I mean, you're still just you're probably like 40 minutes away.
Still
like
here.
I could jump in an Uber and we could hang out tonight, honestly. But I'm looking forward to when we can all get together on the Mardi Gras. Have you watched any of this coverage of the Mardi Gras? Or have you just been busy trying to get everything going on?
I've only been in my room an hour. The rest of the day was on the phone, on hold, and all that kind of stuff. Walking around an airport. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget, even they say to try and solve things in the morning, they cut Wi-Fi at 10 o'clock. So I couldn't even get on Wi-Fi to try and check flights and so...
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is wild. Question. So, yeah, we mentioned it already. Alicia did not have the same issue. She doesn't have to fly anywhere. She just had to get to Key West, and her friend came and picked her up. I saw her leaving the terminal, and Dawn mentioned that she had made it home. So she's good. She's good to go. Let's see. Timothy says, should a person take advantage of the 48-hour cancellation and wait to go next year? It sounds scary to go. Do you like the chaos? Could you handle going through what Don is going through? If you can't handle anything like that and it's going to mess you up, cancel. If you can, don't lose any money. But go into it knowing that it could be bonkers. I mean, we got through the whole week without it being bonkers, but you could sense toward the end of the week that things are getting a little crazy. And at least I had to just remind myself, this is probably the way it's going to be. So you got to be a little into the chaos or not.
And also, if you have any, health issues that you're a little concerned about, keep an eye on how many cases are going right now, because there's been a few, like one royal ship had 6. This one had at least 7, and I think more will come out. I think they have more than 7. I think it's more like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And what was the one Royal Caribbean you were mentioning the other day? Somebody said 31.
Oh, I don't know
on
about
it.
that.
I never read it. I didn't hear it. Somebody told me this morning 31. Maybe
they
misheard that. I didn't see it yet, but
that
might be a crew one that's not sailing. So.
And tying into this WV Cruiser, our European cruises, if you follow the cruise news at all, there's little onesie, twosies, less than 10 cases happening all over the place. And so there were cruises in Alaska that had it. There's cruises in Asia that have had cases. I said it the other day, you're really, right now, with the pervasiveness of the virus and now the Delta variant being more contagious, the cruise ships are forced to report it. So if you could imagine if every aspect of your life had to report it, you would be hearing about a lot of COVID cases right now, because they're going up. The ones that they report on are going up. And so it's everywhere. The question is, how does this business deal with it, and can they stay operational in the face of it? You see the pivots happening, right? So Celebrity, all of a sudden, the week was going fine. They had previous cruises, it's going fine. And boom, middle of this cruise, we got some COVID. Boom, the next day we got some more COVID. Boom, the next day we got some more COVID. What are we going to do? Okay, well, we better test everybody before they get on the cruise ship. And that was the pivot. That's the pain point today. And so you're going to see companies doing everything they can to stay open, but it's going to be painful, I think, in the short term. At least that's what I think we're seeing with this one today. Let's see. Question, Don, how did they let you off the ship? Did they foot the bill for the hotel? And are there others? Was anybody else in your same scenario? Did you see anybody else that was international that got hung up?
Yes, I did. I saw Here's a story that no one knows yet, so I'll break it out here for you, Tony. Breaking news.
Well, save it for your
I
video, Don. Don't give away too much of the goods. I feel like
It's all right.
I've got an author that wrote a book. That's what I feel like here. You got to read the book.
I was and the Celebrity Edge just pulled away.
All right,
So
bon
she is
voyage.
7:30. She's setting sail.
Hopefully,
About 2 hours late.
hopefully
I'd
them
say.
testing everybody will keep the cases down this week.
Yeah, but I was sitting in guest services today, and there was a family down there with 4 kids, and the kids were running around all over the place, and they were getting very, very irate that their results weren't coming back neither. They kept waiting for their email, and nothing was coming. Nothing was coming. They missed their flights. They're very upset. And then all of a sudden, the father came out and said, "We have problems." He came from another area, and he comes up to the wife and says, "We had problems." And then they were told they have to go back to their staterooms, and he was going, "But they're asymptomatic," which means the 2 of the 4 kids, I'm pretty sure, they won't tell me, yes, that's what it was. But here's what happened. They went back to their room. The father's saying the 2 kids are asymptomatic, which means they had tested positive. And the minute they left, they brought in the steam cleaners and wiped down everything in the area and gave me a mask. But I had already been sitting there for 2 hours with these folks.
Oh, wow.
So, I think Celebrity has got to really hope that when I go to the airport and take my COVID test, I don't test positive. Because there'll be questions about how did he get off the ship? Where's his test result? Because right now they haven't been able to produce it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Great question from Ben. Any word on mask mandates coming? No. So, a lot has happened rapidly while we were on this cruise. We saw the new guidance come from CDC that's really spurned a lot of masking starting back up in a lot of different places. There's a very extensive article from the CDC that chronicles the research of an outbreak in Massachusetts. Jenny will be proud that I said that right. This is the study that they've done that has really opened their eyes to the contagiousness of the Delta virus or Delta variant and how it is really dropping a big viral load for people that have it, even if they're vaccinated. I would recommend you go reading that. It's like some super dry reading. But based on that study, in the middle of the week, they came out with new mask guidance for land. And the reason that cruise lines can go without a mask right now on cruise ships is inside the conditional sell order, there is a section that says on cruises where you have 95% vaccinated passengers and crew, it can be at the cruise line's discretion whether the crew wear a mask and whether people wear a mask. So you could see, and we haven't seen it yet, you could see the CDC come and change the guidance inside of the conditional sell order. If they do that, that would force cruise lines to make people mask up. Or you could see the cruise lines, like, Celebrity just went through this challenge at the end of this cruise. You could see cruise lines going, well, maybe we should mask up in the short term. So it would not surprise me if you see cruise lines that haven't been using a mask, maybe start using a mask. Definitely for the crew. I saw the sail away for Mardi Gras today. Carnival's crew is masked up. I don't know if Celebrity's crew is going to mask up or not, but we could see some more masking coming forward.
Almost every crew member I saw getting closer to noon today had a mask on. Almost every single one. And the one thing I think they're going to have to think about is masking kids under, they can't be vaccinated. Yeah. Because they were walking around with no mask. And it's an older population, especially on Celebrity. There's not a lot of kids, but there's an awful lot of seniors on there, which are more susceptible. So I think you might see at least some changes coming.
Right. I think we will too. I mean, I think it'll start back with making sure the crew is masked. We're seeing this testing to get on, because I think that's a strategy too. Obviously you can get infected and it doesn't fully take where a test would catch it. based on the timing. But I do think that the idea is like at least if they test everybody before they get on the cruise ship, maybe they'll catch some people that are already like a breakthrough case or something like that. Derek Garvin, thank you so much for the super chat. Don, we waited with you this morning. We're back to back. Captain Kate announced OBC for the horrible embarkation. Face masks are now required for crew. There, that answers the question. So the crew is masked up. Yeah, I was interested last night, like to see how quickly the mask would come out. I thought I saw more crew members with masks on last night, but it wasn't pervasive. But yeah, that makes sense that they're doing that. Thank you for the super chat. Terrell Cockram, thank you for the super chat. Just booked the Mardi Gras for 2023. Hopefully things will be somewhat normal. And honestly, like people throw that normal word around. This cruise was pretty normal. I mean, we cruised like we had in the past. There were some restrictions at ports, but really no social distancing, no masking. And so there's going to be normalcy coming in and out, and you're going to see the cruise lines adjust for circumstances. But then I think they'll adjust back down. At the end of the day, cruise lines are about profit. I've said this before, sick and dead passengers aren't profitable. And so they're constantly going to be tweaking that balance between customer satisfaction, customer experience, and whatever it takes to keep people healthy. Because if all of a sudden you're the cruise ship that people are sick and dying on, your bookings are going to go down. That's just, I think that's the way that's going to work out. Because I've seen some people out there going, they're going to do whatever it takes to make money. Well, you're only going to be able to do that once.
Can you see the ship?
I can see a ship. Is it moving by you? Is that the edge?
It's heading out.
Nice.
It's on its way out of port now.
I'm going to full screen. Okay, very nice. Somebody said free cruise Don. Yeah, Don was there was at one point you were hoping they would keep you on, right?
Let me stay on. Yeah, sure. Why not? I would have stayed on for another week.
That's interesting that you got the old boot.
If I could keep the cabin.
Yeah, I was texting Don intermittently. Then I said, "Hey, man, what's the latest?" He's like, "They kicked me off the ship."
Yeah.
Let's see, Rebecca Green.
I didn't want to. So.
Yeah, Rebecca Green. Thank you for the super chat. Fully vaccinated, tested positive on the Breeze 728. Currently in hotel quarantine in Houston. Carnival, no help at all. Keeping hush hush. Would love to tell my story. Yeah, Rebecca, that's I would, if you really want to tell your story, I would reach out to like local news or something like that. They carry a little more weight than we do, and they've got all the thing behind them to make sure your story is vetted the way it should be. So, thank you for the super chat. But I would reach out to the city that you're in, and because they would love to have that story, I would assume. So, and hopefully, I think I saw your message today in the comments, and I hope that everybody recovers quickly and that you get the help that you need. Jenny B said that they saw where somebody said that they were masked up. I've talked to Jenny B a couple times today. I miss her so much, Don. I was so...
Yep. You were even thinking on canceling the cruise because you missed her so much.
There was a moment where I, at least toward the end of the week, I was like, I'm excited to go on this MSC cruise, but there was a time, it only cost $600 for this 4-day cruise, which is a lot of money. I don't want to lose that money, but I told Jenny, like, can we get that in a future cruise credit? I wouldn't mind changing around my train and coming home, but it's going to be fun just to see what it's like anyways. Dawn, what did you? She's late. What happened? What did you miss? Everything. We just saw the Celebrity Edge. We just saw the Celebrity Edge sell away. No, Dawn's stuck in the U.S. for another day. We did get a big update while we were on the show. They told Don to go and secure his own COVID test and try to get a flight home, and that they're going to work with him about his extra expenses. So that's kind of nice. Chuck Spencer is here late also.
Go ahead. I just want to say that's the big thing, right? Is when something goes wrong, how do they respond? Right? Things are going to happen all the time, right? The ship could be late getting into port, for one reason or another. The Coast Guard could decide to do an inspection that morning, and you could be late disembarking because a surprise inspection. So to me, it's not that something goes wrong. To me, it's about, are they going to make it right? And so right now, it looks like they're going to make it right, and that's fine by me, as long as they do right. And so I'll keep everybody up to date. But they were very, very nice to me and didn't give me a hard time, didn't try and give me a sob story about, well, you got insurance and all that. Didn't try and do any of that. So so far so good.
Absolutely. Pam asked the question, how easy was the train from Tampa? So this is my first time ever taking a train in the U.S., like taking well, that's not true. One time we went to Baltimore, and we took a train to Washington, D.C. That process was very easy. This process was very easy also. Jenny dropped me off at the station there in Tampa. I'd already bought the ticket digitally on the Amtrak app. I just walked up there. I said, hey, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. And the guy's just like, well, when the train comes, you get on it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
There's certain cars for sleepers and roomettes. There's certain cars for coach. And so there was somebody outside that said, okay, all the roomette people go stand here. And all the coach people go stand there. And I stood there. And then when they popped in, people got off the train. And there's somebody that works that car, and she came out and said, hey, what are you in? I'm like, I'm in number 3. And they pointed me to it, and they took my food order because I was able to get food. And yeah, it's pretty easy. So it was cool. I'm going to try to, I have film of it, and I'll try to film some more when I ride the train back from Miami. Maybe I'll have enough to make a video, but it was really pretty easy. And I know the trains are big in Canada, so it's train's fun. Have you ever taken a train for a long distance, Don?
Oh yeah. I've taken it from my place in Nova Scotia, which is about a day and a half worth of train ride.
Oh wow!
So I got the car and that. I haven't taken it to Vancouver yet from Toronto. It is very expensive to do so. You also have to buy the food plan because it's a 4.5-day train ride. So you're talking. To fly there, it's around $600. To take the train, it's around $6,000.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, so for me to get the roomette, so coach was $30 from Tampa to Fort Lauderdale, but I thought the roomette, of course, would give me more room, and it was $200. And I wanted to see what it was like because that becomes a good option for Jenny and I to get over here because the roomette for 2 people was only like $250. But I looked at going from Tampa all the way up to New York City, and to your point, it's like $2,000. So it's much cheaper to fly. Somebody's asked several times, are you going to get that in writing? Don knows how to deal with this, so he's going to be fine with Celebrity. He's got all the documentation that he needs.
They don't want me to pull that. Don't you know who I am?
Yeah. Sherry Smith said, was Don doing it back?
Never once did that. Did that.
No. But they do know who you are, so that probably is going to work in your favor.
They do. That was great, though, on this cruise, wasn't it? How many of the staff members recognized us and came up and talked to us? That was so nice.
Yeah, it's this is the second experience for me, but like it's wild when people say we got a lot of information from you when we weren't getting a lot of information. And it really kind of validated the work that we'd done over the last 16 months, because there's plenty of people out there. Like right now, there's 8 people that have figured out a way to hit the thumbs down. I don't know if they're watching, just sitting there stewing, just hating or whatever. And so there's a lot of people like, you should get a real job, or whatever you're doing doesn't matter. That's the way they sound in my head. But for those 8 people that are out there with the sourpuss on their face, we have met hundreds of people that have said, man, you helped us through 16 months, or thank you for the work that you're doing. And so I can tolerate the 8 knuckleheads out there, the 8 sourpuss haters, because we've gotten so much love, and the love's what really carries us through. Now, I tell you what, I would love everybody in this chat immensely more. And I love you already, but I would love you immensely more if you could get us to 1,000 likes. I think you could do it. We're at 815. We haven't even talked about likes. That's your homework, and you only got 13 minutes to do it. Question, how thrilled do you think Celebrity is that 2 such prominent cruise vloggers are covering all of this live? I think they know it's part of the game, right? Like, I had an interesting conversation with Captain Kate the first time that I met her. So I went through that whole series where somebody on the edge gave me some information. And even though I went through all of my processes that I normally do, I chose to report the information. And then I didn't feel comfortable about it later. And I issued an apology. And so my first interaction with Captain Kate, she was at the coffee bar. And I was like, oh, here's my opportunity to get my selfie with Captain Kate. And before I could say anything, she's like, oh, I need to talk to you about something. And so the cruise, it tells me that the cruise lines are very aware of what's going on, very aware of what's happening on social media, and in a very real way, it kind of opened my eyes that they know us at that level. I'm used to crew members knowing us, but I don't really contemplate that the higher ups do. And so yeah, I think they're fine with it, right? Because at the same time, if you've looked at any of my videos, there's people in there that say, and I'm sure Don's too, wow, I never would have cruised Celebrity, but now I think I would like to cruise Celebrity. I've never seen that experience at Eden, but now seeing that experience with Eden, I would like to cruise Celebrity. So it's a good and bad for the cruise lines. We're going to tell the good and the bad. They're going to get the benefit of, us exposing their cruise ship, but at the same time, we're also going to be honest about our experience. So, Don had somebody that works high up in the company talk to him yesterday about the work that he does, and so it's we're well known in that aspect. And it's interesting though, because I hadn't really thought of it, I don't think I changed my thought process about it, but I was like, whatever I say, somebody's going to hear it at that higher level. So, make sure that I'm accurate and make sure that I'm fair and that kind of thing.
That's the key, right? As long as we know we're going out there and being fair in our conversation. Yeah. Like, I love this ship. I love Celebrity Edge. I love the staff on board, but there are a couple things on there that didn't thrill me.
Yeah.
But that's personal choice. Other people might have loved it. So I'll be quite frank, but you got to tell the bad with the good. Otherwise, what good is your opinion if it's always good?
Yeah.
Right? Suckering people into doing something, then they don't trust you anymore.
So I knew that if I would call out the knuckleheads, I could get some more thumbs down, which is good because I need the haters to hit the. So the cool thing is, well, I don't want to look. There's a saying in poker, like if you find somebody who's a fish at a table, like that's easy to read and that you can get them to do things, don't ever say it because don't tap the glass because you want to keep getting from the fish what you want to get. So let me just say thanks for the thumbs down. Make sure you hit it every video. All right, let's see if there's any more questions. Did you give them a suggestion on a better way to disembark with a COVID test? Yeah, I maybe in the future. I tell you what, it's like this is an expression we used to use in corporate America. The hardest thing to do is to fix the airplane while it's flying, right? And to me, that's almost what you have. Like with this amount of change in such a short amount of time, bringing on that whole new testing protocol on embarkation day with only 16 hours. It's like fixing an airplane while it's in flight. So I don't think they were looking for Don to tell them how to fix their embarkation process today. No. He might have some suggestions later, but
I do. I will.
Yeah,
but don't forget, it's also a third party, right? That's doing the testing. So it's not even the cruise line that's doing it. So
yeah. No, I bet you there was an extremely high stress level there today. Like, how long is this going to take? What do you mean we're going to be out of here 4 hours later? Why are these people that we told to be here at 2 o'clock are still standing out in the sun? I mean, there's also this thing in IT called a root cause analysis. So when stuff goes sideways, when the poo-poo hits the fan, you're supposed to stay super calm in the moment, right? Like, we got to get through it. We're in the battle right now. We got to get through it. But then afterwards, you got to go to that RCA meeting, the root cause analysis, and that's where you go, what the heck happened? And so I bet you somewhere down the road, there's going to be a whole conversation of how can we do this better? That's just the way life works. But I would love to be a fly on the wall.
Right now.
Yeah. Now that they finally got the ship out. Iro, I just saw it, man. Can you give a shout out for Jillian, who will be on the Carnival Magic next week? Do it, Jillian. Congrats. Question for Don. Question from Rhonda. My friend that I am traveling with next week on the Edge 8/7 to 8/14 is Canadian. When she flies home on 8/14, she is supposed to fly back down on 8/23 for the Mariner, a 9-day turnaround. I'm assuming the question is that a problem?
It's not a problem anymore. She just has to fill out the arrive can and have that negative test when she's on her way back. But she's probably going to need to get a COVID test to get on the other ship again, because that's the new protocols, right? So
yeah.
But back to Canada, it doesn't matter how long we're down here, as long as we have that negative test to go back.
Yeah, I think I know Don. That's a good answer. Thank you for the answer. I think I know the answer that Don would give. Well, let's see. Well, I don't know because you're Canadian and I'm American. Blue Fluke, is a passport card a good idea? Do you guys even have a passport card or do you just have the passport booklet?
We have our just a regular passport.
Yeah.
Um, they are working on a vaccine passport to include in the passport for international travel. They're not doing it province-wide, but we'll see what happens, what they come up with, because if you're going to travel and you have to show proof all the time, then you're not going to just rely on emails, which is what we're doing right now. You need some kind of something firm, right?
Right.
And people,
Yeah.
well, they kept on. One province made the statement saying, well, you can just forge an email really easy, or you can forge a vaccine card really easy and everything. Well, if you get one like that's kind of like a driver's license kind of thing, or a passport, it's a stamp on your passport. Isn't that harder to forge than an email that you get in the mail from the pharmacy? So
Yeah.
some of the excuses for not doing one are pretty funny. If you don't want to do it, just say they don't want to do it. But don't try and make an excuse that it's easy to forge that compared to an email. That's funny.
That was some of the most interesting commentary when we first broke the story about the COVID. They're like, I bet you it was somebody that faked a vaccine card. I'm sure there's people out there faking a vaccine card, but it's interesting. Like, Celebrity took a picture of all of our vaccine cards. So I believe that they're actually submitting those somewhere to be evaluated. That's me guessing. But that's interesting because they asked you very clearly, do you attest that this is a real vaccine card and you're not, doing something crazy?
You're legally liable if you have lied.
Exactly.
So,
but to answer your...
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I'm sorry. But yeah, let me answer Blue Fluke's question. I don't think the passport card is a great idea. So in the U.S., you can get a booklet or you can get a driver's license looking passport card. You can get that cheaper than just getting the booklet. You can get the book, and for more money, you can get the booklet and the passport card. Here's the thing. If you're ever in a foreign country and you have to fly home, you cannot fly home with the passport card. So you can travel around North America with the passport card, but if you go to a foreign country, you cannot fly home with just the card. So while it's a great and easier and smaller piece of ID that you can put in your wallet, I always recommend the passport book because the passport book is what's going to get you back into the country. Late to the party. No, we have not found out Don's results yet. He's going to get tested at the airport, hopefully tomorrow if he can get a flight. And once we know his test results there, I hope he tells me because I've got to either be worried or not worried when I go take my test on Monday.
Yeah, that question they ask you, have you been in close contact with anybody in the last 14 days who has COVID? You don't want to have to say, yes, I have.
How do we answer that question since there's been people on the ship? I mean, I guess since we were not identified as close contacts.
We're technically not close contact, yeah.
Ryan Walsh wants to know, how are you doing? How are you feeling being stuck in Florida? How do you feel, Don?
You know what? Here's one thing. I'm going to be eternally grateful that I'm in a position in life where I am not stuck financially, having to get a hotel room at the last minute, having to repay my flights. If this would have been 4 years ago, I would have been panicking because I wouldn't have even had enough money on my credit card to be able to afford the flight, kind of thing, with my limit. So I understand how some people would be really, really panicky. And so I'm lucky right now, but this would not be a good situation for some people.
Yeah, that would be a challenge. I mean, financially it could be because your hotel, I mean, I don't think you mind saying it, like it's $450. I mean, that's not cheap,
It's a last minute booking of a hotel room.
Yeah.
It cost me good money. Now I did take a king size room with a view.
So you can see this.
I'm making them pay for this. So
that's Don's result, he's not been able to get it from the cruise line. There's some mystery as to what the deal is, but they have not provided him with the documentation that he would need to fly. So I don't know what that means about his result, but and they've advised him to take the test again. So whatever happened, and we will probably never know what the full deal is there. But they're moving on to help him get to the next stage of the dealio. No flight yet, and so Don, your challenge tomorrow or later on tonight is to get on with Air Canada and see when you can fly home. Is that, and then you'll whatever day that is, you'll go to the airport, take your test, then right?
Yeah. Now, if
Yeah.
I have to wait one extra day, say, I might try and hit a pharmacy nearby and just get it done while I'm here,
Yeah.
instead of waiting. But yeah, I'm hoping there would be a flight tomorrow at least. And you know what? I'm going to be looking for the same kind of flights that I had on the way here.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah. Don will get a test at the airport. So the show's almost over. So if you missed the beginning, we talked a lot about why Don was stuck in Florida. So you'll be able to watch the replay very, very soon. All right, guys, you got over the 1,000 likes. We're at 13,000. I think I played my hand too hard, Don. I think the haters realized that I was excited that they were giving me the thumbs down, so I lost 3 of the thumbs down. So now the knuckleheads are getting wise to the interaction thing. Keep on interacting, guys. I love it. But yeah, so thanks everybody for all the love and the likes.
Yeah.
This saga will continue. Now, there's a special show tomorrow night. This is the first time I've tested out the software interview style. Don was gracious enough to come back on, and I have to give tomorrow night's guest a lot of time before I get her on camera. But if you are a patron, if you're part of our Patreon, tomorrow night at 6 p.m., there will be an exclusive Patreon show featuring the lovely Jenny B. And then there will be another big live show for everybody at 7 p.m. Tony and Jenny back together. I'll be in Miami still. She'll be in Spring Hill, Florida. But we'll be able to hear the beautiful and see the beautiful Jenny give me the hey bub, the what for not being home for almost 10 days now. Does she still love me, guys? I don't know. And she also has a box from YouTube at the house. She's gracious enough to not open it because she's going to let me open it when I get home, but maybe she'll tease us with it tomorrow night. So make sure you come back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. For the big show. I mentioned the Patreon in case there's Patreons out there that don't see the announcement, 6 p.m. for the Patreons. And then I feel like we're on like one of those shows. So, Don, what you got going on? Tell me what. I think we know what you got going on. Hopefully we'll get a good report from you from the airport tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I hope everyone tunes into the live stream tomorrow. I hope I can from Canada. And
That'd
if
be
I
nice.
can't, the way things are going, I may be in Wichita by tomorrow night at 7.
Man, if you get all the way home to Canada, I think I can bring 3 people on. So maybe you can come on for 5 seconds with Jenny and I tomorrow. If you get home and get settled. No pressure. No pressure. But people want to see you in the snow of Canada.
I would love to be home.
Exactly. All right, guys. Thank you so much for checking out the show tonight. I hope everybody is doing good. Thanks for all. Oh, we lost another thumbs down. You guys, come on. Don't give up on me now, haters. You haters. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Much love to the Loca fam. My name's Tony.
And I'm Don.
And that's Don. He wants you to have a fantastic day. I'm going to see you on the Lido. That's it. Goodbye. Everybody go home now. I don't know how to close out the live stream. Okay, I'm hitting finish right now. We'll see you on the Lido. Bye.
Bye, everyone.